Hi guys, how are you all doing? It's me, Rita Morar, back on your screens for Music Hills, and we are season 2, episode 20. Can you imagine? I've already done 20 episodes this year. Oh my God, it's just crazy. And now we're in June, we're halfway through the year, and Boris has still put us back into lockdown for 4 more further weeks. You know what? It's for our best, and all I can say is that just keep adhering to the rules. We'll be out there soon one day. I'm obviously upset as well because I haven't seen my family for such a long time, and I know they're tuned in. So big love, Mum, Dad, and Ravi, and hi to Kix as well. Hey Kix, thank you for joining. So today we have Bindi with us. Oh no, we have Bindi with us. I was getting excited for next week. Music Hills with Bindi Bhumbra, and it's such an honor to have him on the show. And as you know, that I switch up our guests and that come on, whether it's producers, it's artists, it's people that love music, and of course, we have to recognize the amazing musicians that back us artists, us singers, because without them, we are nothing. So it's only fair that I got Bindi on, and he has an amazing story to tell us as well. So who is on out there? Let me just see. For some reason, I can't get your comments from Facebook. If anyone's watching from Facebook, please let me know. Do say hi, and then we'll get Bindi on as well much later. So for anyone that's joined in a first time today, hi, my name is Rita Morar, and I am a music fusion artist. I've been a solo artist for the past 10 years. I mix Hindi and English together, and it's been a blessing. Everything's been a blessing in my journey. I started Music Hills last year in March when lockdown hit us very first time. And it was basically, I was wondering, what does music mean to other people as much as it means to me? Because I know for a fact that it's healed me in my journey in the way that I have moved forward with music. And so I decided to put an Insta story, an Insta live together. And lo and behold, I'm here still broadcasting, and obviously now with that we're back on YouTube and Facebook too. So let me know who is on. I'm going to just check something, guys, if you can bear with me. For some reason I'm not getting the Facebook comments, which is such a shame. Let me just check, guys, what's going on. As you know, this is live. Bindi, bear with me. There was some update with YouTube and Facebook for StreamYard, so I think that we are losing the comments for Facebook. That's such a shame, but not to worry, because I have a backup plan. I have my little iPad here, so even though the comments are not coming up on for Facebook, I am going to still going to read them out from my iPad. So Bindi, this is going to be long-winded today, but it's all good because we're still here and we're still enjoying it all. And you do have support. There are actually 5 people joined as well, so I'm sure it's all for yourself. So moving on. Music Hills is basically a non-scripted conversation with an amazing creative that talks to me about what music means to them. And it's such a joy and pleasure to go through their journey, what inspires them, what their song of solace is. And I broadcast this and I take this on all by myself, and I am not funded. So if you would like to support me and support the journey of Music Hills to help it grow, please check out the website, buy me a coffee /Rita Morar, where you can donate a coffee or donate whatever your heart's content. But you guys being here means so much to me as well. Your support and love means so much. Okay, so I can see that there are comments coming on, but unfortunately StreamYard isn't showing them. That's not the end all, because I've got the comments right here. So we've got Naish on. Hi Naish, for joining, and Damesh and Dee, thank you so much for joining as always. It means so much that you guys are here supporting me and supporting Bindi and supporting Music Hills. So for you today, before we get Bindi on, so excited to speak to him. We're going to do the Rita's rendition. And as you know, because I'm a singer, I tend to sing you a Hindi song or an English song. Today, I've decided to go for a beautiful English track by the name of Fields of Gold, and it's by Eva Cassidy. I believe it was originally written by Sting. And it was covered by Eva Cassidy. So it's such a beautiful song, and it's actually an acoustic version. And I'm dedicating this to all the people out there that are missing their loved ones all around the world. As the sun is shining here in the UK, it's only fair that I talk about the sun, the fields of gold, and all our memories, and we'll be together, and how we reminisce each other. So big love to everyone out there that's missing everybody. Big love to my mother-in-law as well, Sasuji, and this is for you. and enjoy. And let me know. Send me your hearts. Unfortunately, I can't put them on the live, but I can see on my little iPad on the corner of my eye. Just bear with me, guys. Here we go. All live. You remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while among the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. I never made promises lightly. There have been some that I've broken, but I swear in the days still left, we will walk in fields of gold. We will walk in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down, as you lie in fields of gold. You remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous skies when we walked in fields of gold. We walk in fields of gold when we walked in fields of gold. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I see the love coming through. Big love, Naves. Thank you so much. She's put, the Queen is perfection. Oh gosh, far from perfect, but speechless. Thank you so much, Nave, for joining. And now let's get Bindi on. The moment has arrived to get Bindi on now. And yeah, so let's just change the mic, and then I can get rid of, I actually have two iPads here. If there was a geek in our house, it's me. Okay, right, let's get Bindi on. Bindi, I hope you're ready for me. Hey! 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 Thank you so much.
That was lovely.
You can see that there's loads of hiccups going on. You can see that I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? Even like Music Hills wants to have a timeout. Bindi, thank you so much for joining me. Guys, we've got Bindi in the house.
Hey.
Yay. Bindi, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. So first of all, congratulations. Was it your wedding anniversary a few days ago? Yeah. I saw all the pictures, all the old, the old scenes and stuff. So yeah,
decades.
Lovely.
Thank you so much. And Kieran's actually joined out there, so I'm sure he's taking it in. So thank you so much, Bindi. Bindi, before we start, why don't you give an introduction of who you are and what you do, and then we'll get the ball rolling.
Okay, so you know that most guests, you ask that question, they get it done in 2 minutes, right? With me, I've been around since the 80s, so asking me what I've done is not a short answer.
Not a short answer. Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right. Okay.
So just jump hurry up, yeah. So I'm basically I was born in Glasgow, Punjabi family, learned guitar there, joined a few bands, and I'm kind of that. But it's quite an interesting journey. It's a 40-year journey.
Wow.
And if you're okay, I can go through that now.
Yeah, of course you can.
So when I was about 10 years old, I really wanted to play music, and you grew up. Nobody in my family was musical. We had no musicians in the family.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
But you get but you're exposed to music all the time in the Gurdwara, in the films, and in the old days in Glasgow we had the Indian Independence Day celebrations, and some band with a vaja and dolki and the chimte would come and sing kind of Shahidi songs and all that. And but so live music was there, and so I loved it, and I loved listening to sort of the current pop scene. So Mud, Slade, Gary Glitter.
Gosh, yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned them, but
it's all right.
But it's so all that kind of glam rock was going on, and I just liked the idea of holding a guitar and rocking. So I asked my dad, and wasn't encouraged at all to take the instrument up. And from his point of view, he's probably thinking, I came from India to settle down here and give my kids education so they could become doctors and engineers, and he wants to play the guitar.
There's always one.
I could have just stayed in the bin.
I guess you were that one, Bindi.
Yeah. So he's thinking I could have just stayed in the bin and he could have played the dumbi there, but so no. But I was adamant, and eventually my parents and everybody was really supportive. But I kind of made a promise that I wouldn't neglect my studies, so I kept that side going. So
amazing.
I got my degree in physics, and I got a doctorate in physics as well.
Oh my god, we got a doctor in the house.
But all that was kind of in the background of playing music. Yeah. So the band. So we started off playing. There wasn't much going on in the music scene in Glasgow. So me and some musicians, some guy called Kamal, who eventually became the bass player, we used to jam together playing shabbats and that, and gate crashing weddings and playing stuff.
As you do.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Eventually more people latched on, and a very close friend of mine, Sanjay Maju, came on as well. And, we eventually got more and more gigs. I mean, I can... there was so much happening. I don't point kind of going through all the details, but those days were really fun because we were kind of breaking new barriers there in Scotland. I think we eventually ended up being the first band in Scotland that produced an album, and I'm not sure there's been any bands since then that have done that. So we were gigging around at university gigs and so on, and then I eventually got a job down south, and I came to the London scene, and the first thing I did was I went to a Hira gig. This was 89, and
is it a daytimer?
No, it wasn't actually. It wasn't. That would have been better. That would have
been like proper 80s, yeah.
So I found Deepa Kazanchi. I said,
oh wow, okay.
Who was like a legend, and I said, look, I want to join a band, and I mean, not just like that. I sort of introduced myself a bit, and he said, Manjeet Kondra's looking for a guitarist, he gave me his number. So I
Yeah.
called up Manjeet, and he's going, "Oh, Bindi Aja," and so then I went to his house, and Manjeet and Chandu Sankadecha was there, and they auditioned me, right?
Yeah. Oh wow.
And
Okay.
so I played a few pieces. I thought it was brilliant, and they probably thought that was all right, So they said, "Yeah, we'll try you out." So I was with Holle Holle for a while, and that was like a game changer, because the standard of musicianship had just gone up a notch. So the guys like Blonky on the drums, they're still a great friend of mine. Ragan on the bass.
Wow, I didn't know that. See, it's all coming out now. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So and they were fun times, and we'd go. I think we'd meet at Block's place, and Jundu would sometimes bring his son round, this like 1-year-old cute little boy called Vikash, and I don't know what became of him.
Well, if you see one of the episodes, you'll know.
So after Holle Holle, then I actually got back into Bombay Talkie, and I was flying up to Scotland for the gigs, and it really kicked off then, because Rakesh, a really talented keyboard player, came on the scene. Sanjay was in the band. There's a few more guys had come in. Charan Singh, a local singing legend, had joined. Karmji, Jojo and the Dolaks. I might miss a few names, so guys, forgive me, right? And we ended up recording an album there, and one of the so I'd written a song called Chargiye. And that was like the first song of the album. We recorded it in Glasgow.
So what was the band called, Bindi?
The band. That's a good question.
So before you carry on, actually, Bindi, there's so many people that have joined, and I'm so sorry that you can't see the comments. I must say, just before you carry on, we've got Kushti Sharda, Big Up Baji in the house. He's actually put, "How have you got him to talk about himself, Rita?" Amazing, Rita. And Bindi is a very talented and humble guy. And we've also got Dharmesh, we've got Bhavik Haria, big love Bhavik. Congrats on the Gayatri Mantra for Roots and Changes, the album that's going to be coming out soon. And we've got Raul Ray and Nikhil. So I'm so sorry, guys, I can't put your comments up on from Facebook for some reason, but if you want to go to YouTube and you want those comments to come up and show them, please start to go over to my YouTube and find Rita Morar on my channel, and then they will definitely come up. So big love to all you guys. Sorry, carry on, Billy. So what was the band called?
So the band was called Bombay Talkie. Because we started off playing Hindi instrumentals, and we thought, well, Bombay Talkie, it's a kind of a film which was a mixture of Shashi Kapoor was in it, and some English actors. And
it was a film, wasn't it?
It's one of these English-made art house films. And I can't even remember what the film was about, but it just had a good sound to it. But so we kind of recorded the album in Glasgow, but we didn't have the right energy, we thought. So Sanjay contacted Pete Ware, who was the producer who did Diamonds for Hira. To us, Diamonds was like the gold standard album in terms of production.
Of course it was, and it still is.
Absolutely, yeah. So so we went to Pete Ware, and he did the magic. Tubsy, he's an amazing dolo player. He came on. He did the percussion sessions on that. Rack did the kind of keyboard parts and just lifted it immensely. Album was a hit, and we got like recognition all over the UK. All over the world. There was like,
what was that album called? Judgment Day, right?
Judgment Day, and that is on YouTube and Spotify. So if anybody's listening to it,
I'm sure. You know what? I'm sure the Bhangra heads, like in the 80s, will know that. And definitely I do. And I just didn't know it was like affiliated with yourself, which is just like craziness. No, that's amazing. And then so when Judgment, did you bring out albums with Bombay Talkie? What did you tour around the UK? Did you get to go over abroad?
Yeah, we got quite a lot. In fact, Kushti, right, became a big fan of us.
All
right, mate. So Kushti and the guys were giving us these big nightclub bookings, and it was a totally different world from the club in Glasgow. But so we did a second album, which was musically very interesting, but it didn't commercially hit the spot. but I still listen to that and think that was some of the stuff we did. That was pretty amazing. That album's called Theme, and I think that's available as well on YouTube and Spotify. But then something. So Blonky from Holle Holle, right? This is where it gets really interesting, right? So Blonky, don't know if you're listening. He used to randomly organise these wacky gigs, like with maybe about 20 Punjabi singers, and they'd be like big names. Surinder Shindan, and hang on, this is the guy who sang GT Road, and we're gigging.
Was it like surreal?
And then we did some weird Bollywood gigs, Bollywood retro feel. So Raggan was still in there, and I met Hinnell. That's how I met Hinnell.
Okay.
And one of the things Blancs got us to do was we ended up doing a tour in Malaysia, and that was with Alaap, Hira, and Premi.
Wow. On one tour? Oh my God, that must have been amazing.
I mean, imagine that, like, these are the bands we were learning the cover songs for, right? And then, we're actually playing for them. But Johnny was a bit of a taskmaster, because, he'd say, I thought I was playing everything okay, and he'd say, Bindi Bhumbra 14.06.2021, you're playing da 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 da. It should be da 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 da, and he'd pick out that detail.
Yeah, but you know what? Then that's that like craftsmanship of his, right? Because that's the riff that he hears. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
So we did that, and then after we came back, Chunni asked me to join Alaap. So again, so that was another game changer. So working with musicians of that caliber, Chunni obviously. Kelly on the drums and Dolaks, Sunil, Bobby Panisar on the Dolak, lovely young man, and actually in their singing when the sound was amazing as well. He just managed to rescue everything, but those were great times. Got a chance to really do a lot of fun things, and then there was a real conjunction of three things happening together, because I think it was 2016, we did a Bombay Talkie reunion gig in Glasgow. Wow. All the boys got together. And we did a Brit Asia Sony thing in Birmingham with Alaap and all the other bands. And then just after that, Hinnell asked me, he goes, Bindi, do you want to join the 515 crew? And this just came out of the blue. It wasn't on my radar at all. And so he said that Danny, he had some work commitments and he couldn't, stick around in the band. And Danny's a badass guitarist, and I knew that.
Most definitely, big up.
So I knew, I'd have quite a high bar to kind of rise to, and I didn't know any of these Bollywood songs really to that detail. H gave me a link to a Dropbox. He goes, "Can you learn these, Bindi? We're doing a gig in a few weeks' time. And there's like 200 songs there." And I knew some of them, right? But it's great fun. So I've been with the 515 for 7 years now.
So you've done from just jamming and then getting together with friends, and then you were part of Bombay Talkie. Then you moved on to Hira, and you were able to go to Malaysia, and then now you're with 515. That's just amazing, and it just goes to show as well, Bindi, as an expert at your field, there's always going to be demand for that, because live music is live music. It'll just never be the same without you guys. And as I mentioned before as well, us artists are nothing without you, like musicians, and that's how it makes a whole collective, and that's how we make memories for other people. So you've given us a background of your background and how you are and where you are today. What does music actually mean to you now? Let's strip it all back.
So
what does it mean to you?
So it's to me, it's like you need food, you need drink, and I find you also need music as well. It kind of nourishes your soul and energizes you. I'm not overly religious, but I think music was probably the closest I get to spirituality. It just changes the mood. It can lift you. It can, if you're feeling too happy, you can listen to some sad stuff. And
it can change it. It's a mood changer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And some biochemical thing goes on where you just hear some chord changes and you're in tears.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been moments on stage where I've heard some chord changes and
Yeah.
my eyes are welled up just thinking back of some time with my parents. And,
Yeah.
the connection there is it's unexplainable, really.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Mhm.
There's times where, when I used to sing, well, on stage, in the Bollywood band that I was with Masala, it was very heart-rending at times, when we sang slow songs, the slow Jab Koi Baats and like the
Yeah,
old Lata songs, Lata
yeah.
Ji songs, but it's just like the chords and it's all the progression of that music as well, the dynamics of the music and
Mm.
how important are the dynamics. And what I mean, Bindi, is that you're part of 515, you've been part of Bombay Talkie, you've been part of Hira.
Alaap.
How important
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
sorry, Alaap, sorry.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how sorry, is that one noise? And how important is it to have that teamwork and for the dynamics to work in order to move the listener?
That's hard to explain, but it's. I think the thing when you play live, right? That there's a certain. It's not like playing on a recording and just automatically playing. You've got to enter a zone where you're listening to the other musicians as well, right?
Yes.
So that's great, right? And but then it gets even better when there's something going on in the audience,
Yeah.
and we get some kind of energy with the audience. I
Mm-hmm.
mean that happens. We've been doing some gigs with Navin Kundra,
Oh,
and
we'll definitely come on to that. But yeah,
and
definitely.
some of the moments there were amazing.
Yeah.
Some of the
Mm,
moments in Mela are amazing. So
yeah.
it's hard to explain, but it's a matter of just being confident, knowing what you're doing, and just enjoying yourself, and
Yeah.
responding to the audience, and sometimes, I mean, Sunil used to do this, just go off on a tangent, and we'd say, okay, this is what's happening now on stage. Let's go with this, and we'd just do something different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are the really exciting parts.
Yeah. We've got Gush Bhumbra on saying
Ne-
keep it up, Bindi.
Never heard of him. He's my cousin. He's my cousin
Oh, I
listening.
was
Yeah.
going to say that's what I thought. I'll give you a minute. Thank you, Ankush, for joining. Kushti Baji says, I was at the reunion gig in Glasgow and it
Yeah.
was amazing. Night totally sell out. And he's also said, Sanjay Maju, yeah, listening. So Sanjay, I
Yeah.
think, is locked in as well. So thank you guys for joining. Again, if you want to put any comments, please go over to my YouTube channel, which is search Rita Morar, and you'll be able to see this live. So Bindi, who have your inspirations been whilst growing up, and have they changed? And yeah, who do you listen to, and
So
who do you get inspired by?
so I've got quite a broad taste in music. So I grew up listening to the Bollywood films. So
Yeah.
R.D. Burman, Kishore Kumar, Mark
Uh-huh.
Duffy, Asha Bhosle, all this kind of old school Bollywood. I love all
Yes.
that. I love all
Yeah.
that. I'm a massive Beatles fan,
Hey.
and I just kind of discovered. I thought, how did I? In fact, one of their biggest known singles, "She Loves You," was number one on my birthday. So that's got. So I wonder whether there's something going on there.
So now we
So
know when your birthday is. I'll never forget that one as well. I told you to reveal it
yeah.
here. But that's the homework for everybody. Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Beatles, and then I listen to current music, and actually this was the thing about these 200 songs that Hino gave me.
Yeah.
Since then, that's grown to 1,000. Right? we've got a list of 1,000 songs that we've covered
That's great.
over the 7 years.
Yeah.
And there's always something new you hear, and you think, how come I didn't know this track? This is an amazing bit of melody that I'd never heard before, and it's an old
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
We did a set for some Bengali singers. Joy, I don't know if Joy's listening.
Yeah. We
So
love Joy. Yeah.
so we did some songs for his wee gang, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was all these Bengali songs, and some of them were absolutely amazing. This is
they are.
You know, and it
They're
feels
stunning.
It's a real privilege to come across these gems, and you think, oh, right, this is great. I've got a chance to now play this live. We did an Elton John song with Navin.
Oh wow!
I would never have thought myself doing that. It was great.
Yeah, fun. But it's amazing what the crowd, right? You've played to an array of audiences, people out there, so they must be like, you started, as you said, you started with Bhangra, and then you moved on to Alaap, and then 515. And the thing is 515. So guys, if you don't know the 515 crew, I don't know where you've been, right? You've basically been sleeping, or don't know, but I can vouch and say that they're the best band in the UK, and amongst all the other amazing artists that we have in the UK, the work is put in, and you can see when the work is put in. And this is why I asked what are the dynamics of a band that makes it a successful band, because you all connect with understanding each other and putting the music out, and that's really important, don't you think, Bindi?
Yeah, I think one of the lessons is that when you're in a band, it's not about you. I always thought, well, here's my guitar part, and everyone's going to be watching me, but they're not. They're just listening. They're just listening to the whole sound.
Yes.
And it's important to realize that you're part of you're only a building block in this kind of this bit of music. It's really this song that matters. So I think you've got to just be grounded in that respect, saying what's good for the song, and let's just stay to that. If I can't get my solo, if I have to play a chord pattern with a rhythm, and it's better for the song, then that's the right thing to do. So that it's quite tough. It's quite humbling. You have to kind of okay then.
No, you're right, because you're all working to the set goal there of putting that song out in the best possible way you can. And then there were points as well when I used to sing, and I used to think, okay, is that all I'm going to do in the song? Is that, the oohs and ahs when I was doing a backing, when I was supporting the other singers? But I think to myself, that makes all the difference. If that oohs and ahs weren't there, then the song, the dynamic would change. And, and this is why I say that it's just so important to recognize who we have in the band and what each person does in order to move forward. And, as I said, move to that set goal that's required, and that's just amazing. So I could not have asked you to be on Music Hills, because you are a big part of it as well. You know what I mean, Bindi? As you've mentioned. So guys, if you have any questions out there, if you're watching through YouTube or my Facebook, which I'm keeping an eye on as well, do write them down, and then I can ask them to Bindi as well. It'd be amazing to know what you want to hear from Bindi. But I know I want to hear some music, Bindi. So are you going to jam to something? Going to give us something little?
Yeah. So I mentioned this track Chargiye, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play that and just play some guitar over it. So it'd be a slightly more guitarified version. I'm just going to jam to it. So don't expect, there might be a few kind of jazzy.
That's fine, but we are freestyling here. That's the main thing. So guys, I'll let you do what you need to. We've got Bindi on today on Music Hills, guys. So if you've got any questions or any comments, just write them in the post wherever you can, and I'll keep up with it. But Bindi, the stage is all yours. I'm gonna put it to you now.
Let me know if the sound's too loud or too quiet.
Okay.
Can you?
I can hear it.
Better. I think that'll do.
Yay! Well done, Bindi. I can see you're getting into it. I didn't want to disturb you.
Yeah, I thought I'd wrench myself away from that zone and get back to the interview.
Oh, no, thank you so much. How does it feel playing one of your tracks?
It's kind of... It's weird. Like you played a track which you've kind of wrote, and you didn't think much of it. Well, obviously it got you right, but then you keep hearing it in a different context every time. Like I go to weddings and somebody's playing it, and all these people singing along to it and dancing, and that's all right, So yeah, it's great. It's great buzz.
It's kind of a surreal feeling, isn't it? It's like, oh my God, did you? And you know what? I didn't even know that was your song. That's the most mind blowing. That when I said to you, would you be part of Music Hills tonight? It's just amazing.
Well, I've just played my entire catalogue there.
Yay! That's fine. It will still get the stream out there, so fingers crossed. Bindi, how moving on, like personally, then, like, so you said that music, it gives you the sense of a higher force, and that, how has it really helped in certain situations, away from music and stuff, and in terms of not being part of the band? Has it grounded you as a person? Has it helped you through the walk of life and with your family and the family you have now? And do they love music as well? How do you get that support and from musically, basically?
No, my family love music. They're very supportive. My daughter played clarinet for a while, and
okay.
But I think more so just commenting on the power of music and helping you get through things. I think the first experience I had of this was when I was I think I was traveling on a boat, and it was a bit choppy, choppy waters.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
Feeling a bit queasy, and I had my Sony Walkman with the cassette in it, and I started listening to this music, and I stopped feeling sick, and I just realised that there's something going on here. Your mind gets taken away from this physical irritation or physical issue you've got, and you just harness the positivity of music and focus on that, and it gets you through. But then, so more recently, I had a very extreme example of that, because I got diagnosed with cancer in 2019. Okay. And what happened was the dentist found out a lump in my neck. We got it checked and everything, and had to go back, and biopsies and things were taken. And then the hospital called me and said, "Can you come in? We can't do the appointment tomorrow. Can you come in today?" So I was a bit pissed off that they'd messing me about. But in actual fact, they were just trying to get me in early, because as I found out, the doctor goes, "Well, we looked at the sample and it looks like it's malignant." So I'm kind of trying to process this. Okay, malignant. Maybe they need to do more checks and blah 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 blah. And what's next for me? And then when he said, "You've got to remain positive," and I thought, up to that point, I was actually doing okay, right?
Oh, no.
As soon as he said, "You got to be positive," that kind of the floor fell away. I thought, shit, this is This is the big C.
Yeah.
So then I was driving home. I had to go, and we had a rehearsal that evening actually.
Oh my gosh.
So I was driving home, and all these thoughts are coming in my mind, like, I'm going to be dead next year. What have I not done yet? I've got to. The funeral. You've got to worry about the funeral.
Oh, Bindi.
I'm going to miss my kids' weddings. I'm going to miss my grandchildren. So all that kind of, that sort of,
you're trying to process it.
Hurry kind of thoughts, So then I got to the rehearsal room, and this is where the magic happened, right? This was a rehearsal with the 515, Mangal Singh, Amar was there, and we just started rehearsing the stuff for the upcoming gig, and I wasn't going to tell anybody about this because there's nothing more than a downer than somebody telling you they might die, So but when that music started playing and you get in that zone, I totally forgot about my condition. I totally forgot about it, and it was just you're focusing on the music, you're enjoying it, except when there's mistakes. But it was the rehearsal. It was the fact that you're interacting with the musicians, and it was absolutely it was like a scientific demonstration almost. Put yourself in that, and you see the power of that mind, being all that positive energy going out in your mind. So it's absolutely great. And I mean, after the rehearsal, obviously you revert back because all those thoughts come back. So it takes a while. And over the period I was doing gigs, I hadn't told anybody about this except my wife, and not even my kids knew.
It's been so hard, Bindi.
But whenever we did the gigs we did a Voice of Legends show with Navin, and I'm telling you, it didn't matter about this illness, and it just helped me get through it.
Yeah.
And on a kind of, so it's a happy ending because I went through radiotherapy. Luckily, I didn't have to do the chemotherapy. And then last November, I got the all clear. So they said that, so it's all done and dusted. So I've got a bit of a trophy scar here to talk about. But yeah, it just demonstrated that you don't have to be religious, but the thing is, there is something there in that kind of spirituality that you can connect to that just heals you. Whether it's a kind of placebo type thing or whatever, but there is something in the mind that can help you heal immensely.
Yes. We've got Palm Panissa in the house. Thank you, Palm Panissa, for joining. He said music really does heal, and Kushti Baji is saying awesome. That's just amazing, and I'm just so honored that you shared that with us, Bindi, today in Music Hills, because like through all the walks of life that we have, like as an artist, as a musician, as a creative, whoever we are, right? And even like the public out there are some points in our life when we know music has helped us, even if it's just a sound of a prayer, the sounds of the birds, the sounds of, I don't know, the water on the beach. It's just something that brings us to one. And I truly believe that. And it's so uplifting for me to hear that music kept you going, and especially like like so much respect for you as well, Bindi, for carrying it on and and just doing what you need to do, and you can either make or break, isn't it? It's like, is your glass half full or is it half empty? And you decided to say, no, my glass is half full. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to do what I needed to do. And with the power of music and my family behind me, I'm going to do what I need to do. And, look, here we are with the grace of God as well. And that's so, I'm so privileged. So thank you so much for sharing that, Bindi. We've got Ajit Matru just sending a message. You rock, Chachaji. And then we've also got, thank you, Ajit. And then we got Amrit Bhamra, go Chachaji. And then Kix is sending you some guitars. Big going on there. Big love. And Amrit saying, he does, doesn't he? So Bindi and I, thank you so much. So it just is only fair that I move it on to the Song of Solace now, that we talk about Song of Solace. And for those of you that are joining me first time, hi, my name is Rita Morar. We got Bindi in the house, Bindi Bhumbra. And then we're going to now talk about his Song of Solace. Now, before Bindi, you go into, I'm just going to explain to everyone what the Song of Solace is. So as well as starting Music Hills, I started a Spotify playlist called Music Hills, hashtag Music Hills. And in that list, I've got over 69 to 70 songs of Song of Solace. So anybody that's featured on Music Hills, I have asked them, what is their Song of Solace? What gives them great energy and takes them to a great place, whether it be happy, sad, instrumental, full-blown lyrics and poem, whatever, and there's been an array of tracks from Nas to Bob Marley to Kirtan's to even my own, and it's been it's a wonderful list. So if any of you want to check it out and just see what inspires the likes of Hinal Patani, who's the director of 515, to Vic as well, who's part of 515, to Rishi Rich, and all the up and coming artists, check out Music Hills, the Spotify playlist under my profile. And then, obviously, I'm going to ask you, Bindi, what your song is. So what was the process? Did you narrow it down, or did you know what your song was straight away when I asked you?
Well, no, I didn't know right away, because there's so many songs in so many different contexts, and I thought, what's going to be the most meaningful one here? I mean, I could have said something like "Imagine" by John Lennon, which is, it's a great vision, but it's not really a call to action. And even from the Life of Brian, always look on the bright side of life. I find that the lyrics is spot on.
And that's so you, Bindi. Everyone that knows Bindi, right? Bindi's such a happy-go-lucky guy, just does what he needs to do, and he's just there, and and he's just amazing. And you carry on, Bindi.
So then I thought that wasn't very interesting musically, that song. So I've got a little story here, because it's all about this context, right? So when I told you I was working, I got my doctorate in physics, and then I was working in the area of fiber optics.
Okay.
Just bear with me, right? It joins up, right? I was working in the area of fiber optics, and one of the guys that was in the lab, he actually ended up winning the Nobel Prize, because fiber optics was his idea.
Okay.
So he got the Nobel Prize in 2016, and we had this commemorative event in London, and another Nobel Prize winner was there at the same time. So I'm in this room of 100 people, and there's two, and the other guy had invented the concept of the laser, and this guy had invented the concept of the fire. So between these guys, they were responsible for the idea that is, supporting all the social media, all the networks of today, right? But so the thing this guy, Dr. Charles Town, said was that he goes, however good you think you are, you find that you've always got to nerd alert. Absolutely, nerds rule.
I'm loving it. Hey, nerds rule.
Faith in science.
Actually, Kevin is a nerd himself as well as a geek. So yeah, definitely.
So what he said was, he goes, you can't get to where you want to get without talking to people, without engaging and having that conversation, and you've got to work things out, and that struck me, because it's not just in the field of science; it's true for everything. You've got a business idea. I mean, Steve Jobs didn't do it all himself. He talked to people.
Of course he did.
So and even human relations, like relationships, you got to talk to people and work things out. And I think so the thing that swayed it for this track was that in this day of social media and Twitter and Facebook, there's a very kind of polarized view. Like when you see somebody that has an opposite view to you, you think, oh, what an asshole, they're completely wrong. But the thing is, even somebody who's completely opposite to you, there might be something they say which is you can learn from. So you should always have that, and this is a journey I'm kind of picking up myself. Like, you've got to give other person the opportunity to educate you. So with that in mind, the song I picked is a Beatles song, and it's called "We Can Work It Out." And the line from that did it for me was, "Life is very short. There's no time for fussing and fighting, my friend." So I will listen to that. I think it's a great song just to remind you about, just get on with things. People are people. You got to work with them, and some of them, a lot of them know things that you don't know. Yeah,
and take it in.
Yeah,
basically, don't be so big-headed and understand that. Bindi, when you told me, it's such a beautiful track. Great choice there. Thumbs up for that one, Bindi.
Oh, one thing about that track, it's the first pop song with a harmonium in it. So the Beatles actually had a vajra. So listen for that. You'll hear.
And obviously that must have been because of George Harrison and the Hare Krishna movement and everything. And oh my God, that's amazing. So when you told me about this song, when we were chatting about it, guys, offline, obviously I speak to the guys beforehand, and Bindi, you told me about Beatles, We Can Work It Out. I thought, which song is this? And then we were just listening to it, myself and Kevin, we were having brunch yesterday, and we were like, oh my God, this is that song. So there's songs that that just probably don't know the name of, the title of, but rest assured, guys, everybody's heard this, So when you do get a chance, do check out the Spotify playlist, which I'm going to put it on straight away. Music Hills, #Music Hills under my profile, Rita Morar, or just generally just check out Beatles, We Can Work It Out, and then keep Bindi in mind and send him all your positive energy, because like Bindi's shown us, we can work it out. And what Kik says just put as well, which is really funny, it's all about the microns. That must be some nerd thing, because I just don't know what you're going on about. So, I'll leave that as your private joke. Let me catch up with the comments on Facebook, Bindi. Kushti shared that. Palm is saying to Kushti, you love Kylie. So there must be some banter going on. There's nothing wrong with Kylie. Come on, man. She's amazing.
Good. Yeah.
Kushti actually put his Song of Solace is going to be a Kylie Minogue track. Well, it isn't tonight. Maybe if we get Bindi on again, maybe it might be next time. You'll have to tune in, Kushti Baji. And Kushti Baji is also asking, which I'll say the question in a minute. Big love, Priya. Thank you for joining as well. Lots of love, darling. Okay, be honest, Bindi. Who chose that shirt you're wearing? What are you talking about? I love that shirt, Kushti Baji. Bindi, come on, save yourself.
We were doing a garage clear out, spring cleaning, and we found these old curtains. So I thought, there's no point throwing these away.
But we're kind of matching anyway, so I'll let you off with it, the colours and stuff. So, but it's really nice curtains, by the way. You must let me know who your tailor is. So, let's move on to Jolene. Come on, Bindi. Let's tell them about our little. So me and Bindi, right? We've always had this joke going on because it's really funny. So I've known Bindi obviously because of the 5 on 5 crew, and then we met at chilling out at a party, one of his parties. It was a crazy party, and then I think it was just probably 1 o'clock in the morning. And then we started talking about songs, riffs and stuff. And then I don't know how we got onto Dolly Parton. And I kid you not, I think I must have shouted out, oh, I love Jolene. And, I love the way that is. Then Bindi comes out. Must have been, the nerd alert, right? I'll tell you that. I'll let you tell the rest.
So I think everybody knows Jolene. It's quite an upbeat kind of country song. But I'd come across this... So somebody had taken the record, which is a 45. It's a 45 RPM record, right? And they'd slowed it down and played it at 33 RPM. So it's like it going down from 110 BPM to 70 BPM or something, right? Right. So and what was amazing was it just totally transformed, but it sounded like a really really cool sort of hip hop kind of vibe. Can I play it, or is there going to be any problem?
Of course you can. No, go for it. Okay, I'm going to give you the stage, yeah.
With copyright or something, right?
Nah, it's okay. We might be blocked in a few countries, but it's fine. That's what I've been finding with Music Hills. Even when I'm doing covers, that my video is blocked in US or Canada. So sorry, guys. There's no warning about that. But Bindi, I'm going to give this to you.
Yeah. So this is the fast version, right? I'll just give a minute of this. Okay, that's the fast version, right? And in the slow version. Wait for the voice, right?
Listen, guys, just listen to. It's amazing.
Okay. So that's a tip. Get your records and change the speed and see what it sounds.
Yeah, I didn't actually hear that, Bindi.
Did you not hear that?
No.
Hang on. Let me try that again. What happened?
I know what it sounds like because I've heard a 33 BPM.
I'm just getting it through the speakers. Yeah. Here we go.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
Anyway. Get down to
It's amazing. You know what? I don't know why nobody has like picked up on the fact that, you know, if you like the 33 BPM, it's like it's a total different like kind of vibe, and it's chilling, and you could put really nice bass to it. I'm giving ideas now to someone out there, you know, they make their millions on Dolly Parton. But yeah, so that's the ongoing joke we have about. Do you want to play us anything else, Bindi, or it's totally up to you?
Not really, no.
No, that's cool.
I mean, I just you know, it's just the satisfaction of just being able to just pull out, you know, a bit of a tune, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe not that.
Oh, I know what the song is.
We've talked about Bollywood, but one of my favourite lifts is actually a Hira lift. A Hira
Yeah, I was
lift.
gonna say so.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to play any pieces. I think you
No,
have to come and watch a band. Find me
You
on
must watch it,
Facebook.
so guys, you know, like, you know, go and watch 515 Crew, see Bindi in action, and there's nothing more satisfying than seeing an amazing band live, and especially when they're putting their heart and soul into it. So I'm going to see what Facebook are saying. Panisa has says it sounds great slow, Dolly Parton. So there you go. Kushti Apaji is also saying, wow. See, everyone, you get to learn a few things or two on my music hills, and it's all about the BPM. Do you have a favorite BPM to play to?
Do I?
I know it's a silly question, but yeah. Or have you ever thought of it? Have you got a favorite key, or have you got a favorite? You know, I think I did ask Vic that. I don't know what happened. But, I can't remember what you said. But yeah, do you have a favorite? Like,
so talking about keys and things, there are certain keys that guitarists like, right? Because you can play open strings and things, right? So it's a combination of open strings. But if somebody says, "Can you change the key?" it kind of totally makes it more difficult to play. You have to totally rework it. So I know I used to be snobbish about using a capo, but I would put that on now. And
so what does a capo do, Bindi?
It just makes the guitar effectively shorter, and it raises the pitch. But what it means is you're playing it the same fingering, but at a higher position. So there are certain keys that are our favourites. You know, the E's, the C's, the G's, the D's. Things like E flat. You know, anything with a flat or sharp in it is a bit more awkward. But but you know, without sort of blowing my own trumpet. That's what you have to do as a guitarist.
Exactly. You have to be versatile like that.
Yeah.
So I've just thought of my next question. There's a question that Palm's got, which is really great. We'll come to that in a bit. What's been your favorite gig and what's been your less favorite gig?
Probably. So the favorite one was probably we did the Wembley Arena last year with the Indian Idols, and
yes,
it was amazing from the point of view that, I mean, it was a massive audience, thousands of people there, but the energy of the band was so good. There's a lot of musicians on stage. Bummy was on the mandolin, the guitarist from Hera. Bal Full, the guitarist from I think he played with DCS in the band. So there was three guitarists. So my workload was nice and easy. And then Naomi on the violin. We had 2 keyboard players, Atul, Hinel, Vix obviously on the drums. But the whole set of musicians were so well rehearsed, so perfectly playing. Dav on the dole, can't forget him.
Can't forget that.
So it was just enjoyable from the point of view there was no stress.
Yeah.
We were rehearsed, and the quality of singing was just obviously the Indian Idols. Salman Ali, it was just amazing. It was just amazing. So that's probably my favorite gig.
What was your most challenging? Let's put it in a nice way.
I think again it's going to be a 5-1-5 one where there was there's been a few of these where I've just been given a whole catalogue of songs to learn. Probably the 90s. We did a gig of 90s music, right? But there was a lot of music, there's some great guitar pieces in the 90s which I had to learn, and it was hard work. But in the end, it was really worth it. So you come. So what you dread, you actually come out kind of in a better place.
And then you talking about the 90s. That's when I started in a band as well. So I know it full. When it was back out there, all the buzzingers and the all of that, and like for it to be revamped and come out again, it's just wow.
Do you recognize this? It's from Basigaro.
It's low for me. Oh, Raggin's joined.
No, this is
Big love, Raggin. We can't put your comment up. Sorry, Facebook has just done a runner on me. So but thank you for joining, Rags. Basigaro. You know what? If you had played that live, right, I would have turned around and said to you, "What kind of key is that? Because that's really low." I'll let you off here. We got Amrit saying music is science too. Come on now, bring it on, guys. If any of you want to come on and talk about the scientific side of music, please. In fact, like when I started learning how to play the piano, right, and it's like, Reet, you do know it's all about maths and stuff. I'm like, I got away with that. I don't like maths. I don't like science. I don't, that's just one of those things. But I'm so glad that there are people that do. So, big up to the whole crew out there. Okay, let's see who else is on. A couple of questions. Oh, yeah, Palm's question. Let me try and find it. It was a great question. Okay, this is from Palm Panessa. How does Bindi feel about scales used in the Bhangra music? Often there isn't much variation or experimentation, in my view.
Yeah.
Why do you think there is?
This is a
really good question.
This is a good question, and I'm going to talk about
Thanks,
it. Right?
Palm.
So I mean, in the Bombay Talkie days, there wasn't much. There was a few musicians that were kind of carrying the band. Music melodically, right? And we were kind of, because of my rock influences, I didn't have a problem there, right? I just played the chords and the pieces and bit I have to do. with Alaap, right? I kind of realized that, you know, what is required is there's some you've got some clean pieces you play, you know. You know, the babia fill, right? They're all little clean fills, right? And otherwise you just play chords. You know, you're playing you know, sort of, you know, sort of funky stuff like that. And there wasn't any. What can a guitar do more in Bhangra, right? And so Punjabi MC did a couple of things, like in Morni, right? He does this. It's so that is a track that's based around a guitar rhythm.
Yeah.
He does that. All that kind of stuff, right? So it's not.
I got him to sing.
Maybe it's not. You know, maybe it's maybe it's not about the scales. Maybe the guitar can be more rhythmic. You know, be more creative rhythmically. So I actually, you've nailed it, Pam. The scope for chords and musicality is a bit. It's in a rut, right? But there's scope for, you know, the rhythmic side.
But how do you come out of it then? You know, like if there is a rut, you know, how can that be changed in that scene? Can it be, or is it?
Yeah. So somebody did that in the 80s. His name was Deepak Gazanji.
Yeah.
Right. So remember, this is before your time, Rita. Right. So
no, trust me, I know.
So when the Holle Holle and Diamonds came in, you know, he fused the stuff with Pete Ware, and there was a lot of melodic work there. I think there's been some kind of jazzy. There's jazz chords and things come in when there's like a funk flavor, and you've got that percussion with the kind of weird notes coming in. But in terms of playing a weird scale, it's there's only certain modes that, you know, seem to work with Bhangra, with Punjabi music. No doubt someone's going to send a message from me wrong. Yeah,
but I guess that's, then you're right, because then I guess that's a formula of it, isn't it? That we know that is a Bhangra track because it's going to come on. If we totally change it, it'd be like, okay, then what are they trying to do? There's too many changes, and that. No, so I get what you mean.
In fact, listen to her album theme, right? There's a track on it called, like, some of the band are going to kind of cringe, right? There's a track on it called German Gurdi. You know, English in a day, German Gurdi, dan. And there's like there's a kind of jazz. There's a jazz solo in it, and we kind of put it out there, and you know, people didn't kind of. It wasn't the hit that we thought it would be, right? But you know, people still experiment, and one day it might work.
Yeah. Oh, I knew Kix was going to ask this. How about the Kamali compilations? Amarjit Sidhu, isn't it?
I couldn't comment on this.
Well, that's not really Bhangra. It is Bhangra. It's done by Amarjit Sidhu, but you know, there was compilations. It was called Kamali, the albums, and there was about 3 of them. I think it was about 3. But no, we're talking about legends here. So, but yeah, great question, Kix. Question for you before we wrap up: studio or live, and why?
So
are you lost for words?
So I am.
Yes,
I've got a little home studio with Cubase and stuff, and I've been playing about with stuff, and it's great. It's great fun. But I think what happens is you tend to just become focused, and you lose track of what you're doing. Right? It's this thing I was telling you about interacting with people and working things out. So unless you're with other people in a studio and creatively doing something and jamming off each other, I don't think the progress you make is fast. It's probably not going to sound good, and it takes ages to get it to sound good. So you've got to work with people. So to make good music, I think it's got to be live. You know, I think the energy is got to come from that liveness. Maybe that feeds into, you know, you get that, you harness it, and then you capture it, and then you kind of recreate it. But definitely the live thing is where the creativity starts.
Yeah. I vouch for that as well. Yeah.
So the Beatles spent a year playing live in Hamburg every night for a
Oh,
year.
wow.
That's
Okay.
so that liveness, the creativity,
Mm.
was the foundation, that live playing.
Mm. Mm. Totally. There's nothing like live music. Have you been missing it, since being in lockdown? And Bindi, how's it been for you as an artist and as a guitarist and a band member?
It's the energy you get is obviously you're not going to get any energy from like people in little squares on the screen. We've done some live gigs. We did the some shows with Navin, and he streamed them. And in that, so the band got together in the studio.
Yeah.
So Amal Mistry, our sound guy, sorted that. Nice one. And
Yeah.
what we had was a screen with all the Facebook comments coming up as we
Yes.
were
Yeah.
playing,
Yeah.
and that came close. It came close to getting that live energy, but
Yeah.
obviously it's not the same.
No.
So I am missing it. I'm just looking forward to the gigs that are coming.
Yeah. We can't wait as well. Palm is just saying, obviously when I asked a question, studio live, Palm put he's a guitarist, it has to be live. Definitely. But you'd be surprised, Palm. There's some creatives out there that actually prefer the studio because, one guy, again, I can't remember who it was. I'll dig it out. He was a musician as well as a MC, and he said that studio for him makes it because it's the end product, because then he can go out and just sing it live or do whatever. But it's all the creativity. So yeah, it's interesting how we all vary in what we feel that whether it's live or studio. For me, it's live. I freeze up in the studio because I can hear myself and I have to be so precise. Whereas with live, you could just do anything really, but or obviously in remit, of what you can do if you're with a band and stuff. So no, that's amazing, Bindi. I can't believe like an hour. I was going to say year. An hour has gone by. An hour has gone by already, and we're coming up to the end of this like amazing conversation. Like things I've learned from you, Bindi. We've been able to talk about science, and we've been able to talk about Glasgow, and your background and your influences, as well as your song of solace, and obviously you beating cancer, and that's for me that's so humbling to hear, and it's amazing that music has helped you through, and your family as well. If there were any budding guitarists out there or musicians that want to come onto the industry, please can you give me like 3 points, or give them 3 points as because of your expertise and how long you've been in this industry? What 3 points would you give to them in order to help them move forward or start out?
Okay, so number one, don't give up too easily, because when you pick up the guitar, you're going to get, your fingers are going to get sore. You're going to have to figure out how to move from C to F. But think about every one of those little changes is something that every guitarist has gone through. So don't give up. And with the guitar, you don't have to spend a lifetime to be before you become useful at it. You just have to learn a few chords, and then you can sing along to it, sing along to songs and be useful in a band. I think the second thing is play with other musicians, because if you're on your own, you don't get that energy, and the sum of the parts is greater. Sorry, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So even with two musicians, if you're strumming along to a tabla, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling, rather than strumming on your. So work with musicians, especially those that are better than you or slightly better than you, and you can benefit from their experience.
Yeah.
And thirdly, realize that there's no such thing as talent, right? And I say that because when you see somebody and you think, oh, they're talented, it's because they've spent thousands of hours learning that craft, right?
Okay.
So that
Wow.
talent isn't magic. It's earned by hard work, and you've got to do the work to get to that level. And if you do the work, you will get to that level. So just forget that don't think that other people are talented and you've got no chance. You can do the work. Get a teacher, get some guidance, and you can get to where you want to get to.
Wow. So your 3 points are, Bindi, don't give up, keep learning, play with other musicians and learn from their experience, as well as learning, progressing your own, and realize there's no such thing as talent. Talent isn't magic. It is earned by hard work. Oh my God, those nuggets. It's amazing, Bindi. It's just lovely to speak to you, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that has actually joined. Kushti Baji is giving you so much love. Anybody who has performed with Bindi is very fortunate to have his wisdom of experience. Thank you so much. And Palmer said, keep well, Bindi. You're blessed. Keep sharing your vibe and keep positive. Extreme, you've played tonight. You can just see your energy and passion coming through. It's very wholesome. Thank you so much, Palm.
Thank you.
And it's just been a pleasure speaking to you, Bindi, and I don't regret like asking you to come on Music Hills, because you just give us you've given us so many nuggets, wisdom and stuff. If people want to follow you, Bindi, where can they follow you, and how can they contact you if they've got their own questions that they'd like to contact directly?
So I'm on Facebook, Bindi Bhumbra. Don't upset me, because I sometimes argue with people on Facebook. So, but just to work things out, obviously.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. But yeah, it's been an absolute honor. I was, when you asked me to come on, I thought, what, you're scraping the barrel, No,
there's always a reason.
Yeah, but no, it's been great. Thank you very much.
No, it's great, Bindi, and all I can say is, well, keep up the amazing work that you're doing, and learning, and then just sharing that wisdom out there and stuff, and keep wearing those lovely curtain and shirts. Just let us know who the tailor is, right? Because I think I'm going to get one made for Kushti Baji and Palm. I'll send it over to them and Kicks if he's lucky. But no, thank you so much. And I hope you come on to Music Hills as well. Once all the lockdown is done, let us know how you're getting on. It'd be amazing to hear. We've just got one. Well done, Worth, missing the football for. Hey, I love that. Thank you so much, Kush. And it's Bindi anyway.
Don't mention the football.
Yeah, don't mention the football. Shush you. I totally forgot about it. Anyway, now you can catch it, whatever is left of it. All right, Bindi, thank you so much for joining. I'll catch you really soon. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Bye. And that was Bindi. Oh my God, he was amazing. And just remember, I'm just blown away what he said. Talent isn't magic; it is earned by hard work. It doesn't get handed on a plate, for sure. And if you can support any of your artists that you favor and love, and just jam with and vibe with, just keep showing them the love. Keep showing them that that you appreciate their music, whether it be a musician or artist, because we're all on the same level. We're all learning towards the main specific goal of putting music out there that can help other people and can maybe heal in some ways as well. So thank you so much, Bindi, for coming on. And thank you for everybody that's joined as well. Kushti Baji, thank you so much. And 0-0, by the way, whoever's playing, I think is it Spain and Sweden? I think it is. I saw there was some messages going around. But anyways, 0-0, if anyone's interested in the football. Next week, we have Aaron, A.K. Baines. Yes. I can't wait to speak to Aaron. So Aaron was on Music Hills a while ago, in fact, last year. And I've actually decided to host that Music Hills on my Instagram page. I'm going to try out something different, guys, because a lot of my followers are on Instagram. This is where I started. And I know AK has a massive following on Instagram as well. So I'm going to be actually broadcasting from Instagram. So if you find me at Rita Morar, my full name, and just come and connect with me, and then you'll be able to watch Music Hills next week on my Instagram. And we've got AK. And so if you have any requests for any covers, Hindi, English, for my Rita's rendition song, please do drop me a line. If you've got any questions about Music Hills, or you would like to feature on Music Hills, drop me a line and let's get this sorted out. But thank you so much for joining. Once again, I do apologize for all the people that have joined via Facebook, and I couldn't put up your comments, but hopefully next time we are on YouTube and Facebook, all the comments will be there and we'll be able to interact like we used to. All right, guys, get back to the football, get back to your families and your loved ones, and I'll check you next week. Thank you for joining. See you later.